Hello, guys and girls, and welcome to your midweek discussion board posting here at Ultimate Medical Academy, HS 2305, as we are in week 4 of our class, and this is the midweek point for the discussions where we are talking about Tom and whether or not he should have an advance directive. Very interesting discussion going on so far, guys. Remember that today is Wednesday, so you have to have your initial posting up by the end of the day today. Also remember that you need 2 replies by the end of the day on Sunday. And remember that you must post your postings on 3 separate days. So make sure that you're doing that to make sure you get all of your credits in. Also, guys, remember, too, in your discussion, we are examining a few issues here. We are examining what an advance directive is. And our readings this week are extremely good at defining what advance directives is. It gives you guys all kinds of them. Power of attorney, it gives you living will, DNRs. So a lot of things are listed in the chapter that you want to look at. And some of the things to consider here, guys, is when you're examining this post this week, is not only will Tom maybe need an advance directive, but kind of also think when you're doing your initial posting, your reply postings, what type of advance directive Tom might need. Because does he need a DNR? Does he need to give his wife a power of attorney and let her make all the decisions for him? Does he need a living will where everything's spelled out so it takes the pressure off of his wife and maybe his children, to where he might have situations where he's going to define every single step that needs to be taken? Also, guys, think about it this way too. In terms of the doctors and the staff, because that's what you guys are studying to be, why is it good for the staff at a facility to know whether or not a patient has an advance directive? And then number 2, how does that affect the type of care you're going to give that patient if an advance directive is in place, depending on what type of advance directive it is? Something else to think about here too, guys, is we see this on the TV doctor shows a lot, where a patient will come in, have an advance directive, have an emotional family member wants to save them, and then a doctor at the last minute makes a decision to start working on the patient regardless if they have a DNR or any other type of advanced directive or not. So something to think about here, guys. Is that really realistic? I mean, what would happen to you as a medical professional if you had a patient and had a DNR in place, had a living will in place, had a power of attorney in place, and then you simply chose to ignore it and do life-saving measures? Is there legal ramifications for that? And also, number 2, is it even ethical to do that, considering that those were the patient's final wishes spelled out? That's why you have an advance directive, is to spell out how you want your end-of-life care to go. So think about those, guys, as we're doing our discussion board posts this week, as we still have some of the initial posting by the end of the day today. And also, guys, if you've already made your initial posting, think about it in the reply posting and on some of my follow-up questions I'm asking. Again, this goes into our overall theme here. We're talking about law and ethics in medicine. So this is an extremely legal situation here, not just a medical situation, with a lot of ethical implications. Why are advance directives so popular in terms of a lot more patients are having living wills and having powers of attorneys and DNR orders? So why do we think we're seeing more and more patients do these kind of things? And then number 2, how does that impact the profession? And how does that impact your ability to care for those patients when those things are in place? And it just really goes to show us, guys, how law can impact our practice in the medical field, and how, again, we need to be very cognizant of legal ramifications and ethical ramifications of our decision-making process. If an advance directive is in place, that is something that you really need to consider and that you really need to follow, because it is not going to go well for you if you choose to not follow a advance directive, because they are a legal binding document. So again, guys, be cognizant of the law and the legal implications. So everybody have fun completing the initial posting, and if you already have, and working on those 2 reply postings. Remember, you need to post on 3 separate days, guys. I am here if you need me, so you can email, text, or phone, and I will be available to answer any questions or concerns you have about advanced directives and the legal ramifications of having advanced directives. With that, guys, have a great week, and I will see you guys on the class.